The Ministry of Health visits those shelters every day. The health personnel, the nurses, the public health, and the check the pressure. We're going to check the temperatures every day. So those are the things that will be taking place now. This whole new, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect because we see the virus, we can't detect it sometimes. So we don't have to ensure that we adhere to the rules that are being implemented and in the emergency shelter. We have to adhere when the nurses come, when you enter the shelter, if you see that you have a cold, only want the families to stay together wherever you are. Right? The single men and so may not be, as I said, may not be able to get out like that can hold 5 persons, etc. We have to look at the families that are involved in terms of children, elderly persons, physically challenged, and those kind of work to really determine who goes where. So that's why we need to capture that information to guide us. We know the population that has to evacuate, we already know that. But also to help us to say, well, okay, we cannot want to go for shelter. We have somewhere we can stay, we can make provisions for those who don't have. Well, I know you have plenty questions about the volcano. Anything you want to ask?
One last question. Suppose I refuse to evacuate. Is there a penalty?
There's a penalty because you understand the risk. Don't you understand the risk? So that will be your individual choice. No, it's your individual choice. But to let you know that if you decide to stay behind and things get so bad, we are not.
Yeah, we have here Miss Michelle Fox, Director of the National Emergency Management Organization, addressing residents at the OBL Government School.
And really not put yourself in harm's way. Because if when you put yourself in harm's way, you're putting others in harm's way also. If we have to send back police or the emergency personnel back for you.
Yeah, I was just asking about security. What form of security would we need? People move out of the village and the village left empty. And vandalism probably might step in. What do you have? What plan do you have in place for cover people's property, etc.?
Okay, we had the police at the meeting in Fancy, and they have indicated they will be coming to the communities to discuss that kind of measure with you because we know it is a concern, and many persons who will not want to leave because of that's what happened in 1979. Some of you would experience that, and that is something we have asked the police to look into. So they'll be working with the community in that regard to ensure and have some safe surveillance, even from regional forces to come in to do surveillance along the sea once it is safe enough to do so. So that's something that the police is taking on board. Someone, the lady there in the green?
That if there is an evacuation order given, how are we going to be alerted of it? Because suppose it happened let's say in the middle of the night when you're sleeping, how are we going to be alerted that there's an evacuation order?
Well, there are key persons in the community that there's the police number 1 that we use. We have the regular means. We have an app that's called Cap.Cap. You can download to get the information. You can, I don't know, I say we're sleeping, but we have persons in the community that we will contact to disseminate that information also. We are working with the Red Cross to ensure we have enough bullhorns. We know the Red Cross groups have one. We are working to ensure that we have enough bullhorns so that the police and the community group can actually go around giving that information. But you yourself can determine what is easiest for you to get the message. I'm not sure if you have any church bells here still.
We do have.
You have church bell? Yeah. So that's one thing. If you hear church bell ringing at 2 o'clock in the morning, then you know something is wrong. You can determine this is what you want to help you be alert. Okay? You can say to the priest or whatever at that church that we can use a church bell to ring it for a long period of time to alert persons so that you can wake up and you can say, well, something is happening. Let's find out what is happening and take action. So there are different ways we can get the information to you. We are also, Digital and Live has also approached us and partnered us so that we'll be able to send the alert. But as I say, you might be sleeping, so you need somebody to still come and give you that alert. I didn't hear that. On the phone, yes.
Is there a special app?
There's an app that we have, CAP, that you can actually download and get all of our alerts. From us, from the Met Office, you can get alerts from us.
I think we are here with the bullhorn
certainly. We'll be using that method of, to disseminate the information. The bullhorn that she was asking about.
Yeah, that was on the ship.
Yes, Ms. Fox. Based on the evacuation, the lady in the green has just said, he said the same thing after I was going to say. No, and she said, suppose it happened in the middle of the night. I'm living over there at that small village, and I'm very concerned much about my little community of one. Now, we had a test the last time we...
2019.
Yes. And something I must say went on. I don't know what to say about it. It went on good. It was confusion. Real confusion is false. And if something like this have to happen, you know, if there is an emergency, I won't like it. Really and truly.
That's why you have exercises, and that was an exercise, right? So we know what went wrong, right?
Yes, yes.
Good.
We know what went wrong.
So we have to ensure that doesn't happen
Exactly.
again. Right.
Because Owia is separated from Point. Even though we carry the same address, we still separated, right? Yes. Because what? You had to send a vehicle for us to transport us from Point to this meeting. All right? So, as I said, I would like what went on the last time to take place.
Point taken. So point taken, ma'am.
I don't know if I can go over
Any other questions? Yes.
You just need, these adults just need to cooperate. Everybody wants to be head, and yet still they are not head. So they need to cooperate. And in a case of an emergency, I beg you now, please, put all political issues aside. He is our representative. Mr. Daniel is our representative. Yes. This is an emergency. Put all political issues aside.
That's true.
In case of an emergency, we need to come together as one.
Well, I'm going to say Daniel, I put your friend.
And if we do not unite, all of us might die. But yet, these people, they are finished yet.
That's true.
They continue. Suffer erupting. Your neighbor is your keeper. Amen. Your brother. These days, you know, family and not your keeper. Your neighbor better than your family too. So you guys need to come together. Labor, NDP, all of you doing the same thing. I am an NDP woman and I have no enemy. Who want to hold me for enemy? That's their choice. But you guys need to come together now. Mr. Daniel, encourage your constituency to come together in the event the volcano should blow. Encourage them to come together. Because these people, one side will here, one side will there. This side want to be head, that side want to be head. This is not going to work.
Maybe the lady has just come by. I have spoken earlier on. I would have been the first person to speak here.
We know this. Ashford Peters, we know
And I am the representative of this constituency. And I'm
the Prime
here
Minister, Mr.
with
Montgomery,
Nemo to inform the people of Owia. We were already in fancy this evening that we are here to, in the event that there is an eruption at the Last Fair volcano. It is not for NDP or for ULP, it is for all of us. All of us. I said it earlier on, so I'm sorry that you're late. Thank you.
It's not this constituency alone. It's not this constituency. Tell them, let us come together. Let us unite to save ourselves.
Thank you very much. You have another question? I saw you. Any other questions, any other comments, any other concerns that you may have?
Change the driver, but
The Coast Guard?
yeah, the Coast Guard couldn't come in to get that body. So that is one of them, and we have rough seas.
Yes, the commander of the Coast Guard has actually been in contact with his counterparts and they're on standby.
We have a lot of small boats, small
We
vessels.
can use, yes.
We actually use small vessels and Coast Guard.
Okay,
Very
excellent.
much better than
That's coming now. Mr. Pitt, you had another question?
Yes. Your personal belongings when you're moving, let us assume that suffer blow tonight, and you would like to move like your goods,
Okay.
animals.
Okay, for the animals, as the minister, that's the first thing he spoke about. The Ministry of Agriculture is making provisions for you to be able to move your animals. You might not be able to move them at the same time with you, but once the evacuation order is given, the ministry is making provisions where you can actually take your animals. So what we want you to start doing is to give an inventory of what you have in terms of animals, whether you have 10 goats, 20 sheep, pigs and pigs.
Special tagging for the area.
Yes.
Careful.
I'm sure you have many more questions. Are you worried? Do you feel like a bit more, less, should I say? Are you panicking?
No, I'm not. I'm not even scared because I experienced it twice.
Are you comfortable? Do you want more?
We want more timely. More timely. The distance between is too distant. Because when it's a blow off the morning, some people run around with a bucket of water, they can't get water, I should say. If it's timely, probably, I don't know what I can do about the time is that you women over. By the time they reach the bucket full of ashes, I think it's joke. That's no joke. That is serious. That is true. Let's face it, reality. We do not know. The ash falling down on you. It's not easy. It's traumatic.
It was a training that was done by Red Cross some years ago. And some people in the area were given CB radios. Would those radios be used as to alert us or send messages to us?
How this is working. I will actually put new radios throughout St. Vincent and Grenadines, at all the police stations, also at the clinics. All the clinics will be having new radios, and persons in the community also will be given radios. So we'll have to check those radios to see if it's compatible with the system. But based on the frequency, you should still be able to receive Joey? Yes, based on the frequency. So we can have a chat with Joey. We can have a chat with Joey. Using radios. Actually, we were testing them on our way today up, and we were able to speak to the scientists all the way on the western side from the volcano.
The communication in that sense, would it be through our 705 or directly to scientists? Where would it be? Whom do we contact? The radio station are working too well these days,
Contact Nemo. Nemo will send information through all the radio stations, not just NBC Radio. All the radio stations at the same time. We use our website, we use our Facebook pages, we use the telephone providers also to send alerts first. So there are different ways you're going to receive the information. Yes.
Yeah, well, look, I'm still a bit worried because in one certain Facebook post, they would say we could get 48 hours notice, and another one would say we could get less than 24 hours notice. But earlier, it was mentioned that we would get between 24 or 48 hours notice. So which is accurate?
There's not an exact science.
Because even the scientists are saying they cannot
Predict exactly
when it can happen. It can happen now.
Yeah, there's no exact prediction as to when the eruption can happen. what is happening is that the scientists, they're trying their best and putting in as much equipment as possible that can give them that kind of information to inform us. The Seismic Research Center have developed the early warning based on that they can give St. Vincent and the Grenadines at least 48 hours notice, but it may not be, you may not get that amount of time based on what is happening. So we have to be basically prepared for any evacuation at any time. Okay, and that's the nature of our volcano. It can go from doing nothing much to full eruption within 24 hours to 48 hours. And that's what we're living with. We're living with the risk. So that's why we have continued over the years on informing persons about the volcano, because of that whole short warning span that we have. But you know, rest assured the scientists are really working to ensure that they can actually give us more timely information on what is happening at the volcano.
That's one of the things where I'm saying that whenever we allow to do that, we get it on time. Because I go and as soon as I evacuate, I go.
Okay.
I'm waiting for those.
Do we have any more questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I know that the entire household will go if they are children.
Yes, the entire, we're not going to take children by themselves.
No, I was wondering if like the mother and the child.
Mother and the children, yes. Whichever families with the elderly family, that family.
So the
will go.
entire household?
Yes, the entire household. Because that's your network. You Any other questions? We're comfortable? Do you need any more information on what is happening? So right now at the volcano, we continue to have effusive eruptions. That means magma is coming to the surface quietly and building that dome. So we have the scientists on the ground who are monitoring, who are installing more equipment and studying what is happening at the volcano so they can give us a more informed information on what is happening. So that's it in a nutshell, but also we want you to start your preparations in the event that we move from that effusive phase into an explosive phase. We are not saying that it's not going to that it's going to happen. We don't know. We don't know. So we always have to be on the alert and be prepared that it may go that way. It may stay doing what it is doing now for several weeks, for several months, even a year or more. We don't know. But we have to be in that whole preparatory mode and ready to take action. Not just saying you just sitting and wait. You're taking action in the meantime. You should have your go bag ready. You can grab and go bag so you can grab and go. Make sure you have all your medication. Make sure you have all your important documents. In terms of a volcanic eruption, you might need to take more stuff because you don't know how long you're going to be away from home. In 1979, you know, away for how long? 3-4 months? Yes. In Montserrat, they have been away and displaced since 1995. We don't know how long it's going to be. So you need to plan for it can be longer than what it was in 1979. We don't know. But we have to prepare still, even with this uncertainty. But we know that the volcano is erupting, but we don't know when it's going to go to that explosive phase, if it does go. But we have to be prepared nevertheless. So are we okay with the information today? You sure? Who is going to work with Ingrid on ensuring that we have all this information?
Everybody.
Point, who are we going to work with in Point? We can have a chat after. Right? Owen, you have the persons in Point and you have the persons in Oya. Owen is a community development officer we work with also. So we need to work with these persons to ensure that we have that information.
I'm not going to point nobody walking it.
Any further questions? We don't want to keep you long.
Assuming that Sophie doesn't blow within the next 3 or 4 weeks, would you have a follow-up to this meeting? Would there be a follow-up to this meeting?
That's a follow-up. We need to have, because we're still operating in a COVID environment.
Right.
So we don't want to be interacting too much, but we want to have the persons in the community who can pass on that information to and be able to circulate. Yes.
As a means of follow-up.
As a means of follow-up, right? Because we want to kind of shape our events, you know, in the COVID environment, but also want to, it is important for us to get the information to you and to meet with you and make sure you're not too much being but be able to give you that information that you need.
You want to
Yes, sir. So if no other questions or comments, I really want to thank you for coming out and thank you for coming to get this information. Let's ensure that you spread correct information to persons and you're really ready to take action in the event that we go to an explosive eruption. Please let's work with Ingrid, the team, and Owen, and all the other community organizations here in Oya and Point to get the necessary information that we need to support you. Thank you very much.
Okay, this is Ashford Peters of Caribbean Independent Broadcasting Service. You have been listening and viewing Ms. Michelle Forbes, the Director of the National Emergency Management Organization. They have been meeting in the North Windward area today. Earlier on they were in Fancy and they moved to Oya, sensitizing the people, listening to the concerns raised by the people, seeking to address those concerns and perhaps to allay the fears of the people. North Windward, where the La Soufrière volcano is now actively erupting in an effusive manner, meaning that it's just the magma coming out of the earth, seeping out of the ground onto the floor of the crater. So it's not an explosive, I repeat, it's not an explosive eruption as in 1979. It's just that the effusive phase where the magma is coming out of the ground and it's in the crater, and you have a dome that's growing next to older one that came up after, that grew after the 1979 eruptions. I'm Ashford Peters. I thank you for viewing. Please continue to, and from here at Oya, heading back in the direction of Kingston, where I reside. Thank you very much for viewing. Ashford Peters saying until the next event that we will be broadcasting.